What's going on, everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics, and today I got a video for you, and it's going to be on creating a box. No, just kidding. It's going to be on the topic of drawing uh, facial expressions. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you what little I know about that. The main thing with facial expressions is to kind of take note in the way that, you know, shapes change in the face. So you got, you know, you're going to want to practice all your different facial components separately and then work them all together. Um, if you've got the eyes squinted, brows down, it can be, they're making a angry face, or, blocking some debris that's falling into their eyes, whatever. You put that with, say, a grimace kind of look, and then now they look like they're sneering, really intensely, kind of anger and disgust in the face kind of thing. So what you do is you just kind of play with each one of those aspects. One of the things I really like about doing this digitally is I can mix and mingle the components really fast. You can also do that with other traditional medias, but it's just really nice because you can take and copy the eyes and throw them onto the next sketch or whatever. So just so you know, because I always get the question, I'm using Sketchbook Pro today, and also a Wacom Cintiq for my drawing tablet. And I'm just going to focus on just the facial kind of things, and I'll show you how I'll grab stuff as I'm drawing interactively and kind of size things down, or stretch them out if something doesn't look right to me. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so so there's kind of a squinty kind of sneer, right? Uh, and the other thing is practice drawing them on an angle. I'm not going to worry too much about head shapes because I really want to focus on just the facial expressions. One of the things that helped me kind of get a better grasp of this stuff was for some years I drew caricatures at parties all over. I live in Michigan, all over the state of Michigan. I went everywhere. I gave them up eventually just because I'm so busy doing my other stuff, and after a while the driving around gets a little bit ridiculous. I was going to the very top of the state, the bottom of the state, sometimes Ohio, and just really traveling around and getting the jobs. It's quite lucrative. So if it's something that you're looking to make some added funds, characters is a really good way to make some side money. But you're gonna have to give up your weekends and your holidays because that's when they're the most busy, which in turn is you'll be the most sought after at those times. So at the last minute, agent would call you and say, "Hey, you want to work 4th of July?" And it's like, "Oh God, who wants to work on the 4th of July?" But hey, you're gonna make $500. You want to go do it? Sure. And sometimes you'd even get free room and board at a nice hotel. So there's a lot of cool little perks to that deal. But at any rate, it's one of the things that I actually did it more for my comic book art. I was like, man, if it may help me be a better comic book artist. Um, so you get to study all these different faces, and everybody's wanting you to draw uh, every expression under the sun. So it was really good practice for that. So just keep that in mind. And like here where the eyebrows are back and cheeks are kind of up, you can see it's going to be more of a giggly kind of smile or a laughing smile, um, versus just a smirk where uh, and if you show both sets of teeth, I think it looks a little bit more like not necessarily a fake smile, just more of a stretched smile. Um, or if you're showing both of them and both sets of gums, then I think it's going to look like more of a fake smile. But I guess that just depends on how somebody smiles. So, and then positioning of the eyes, that's going to say a lot. If they're looking down like this, um, then maybe they're smiling and looking away, which would say something else. Um, so eye positioning has a lot to do with the telling of the emotion there, or the story, or especially if there's another character in the scene, how they're reacting to that character. So there's another one, kind of a happy-go-lucky smile, I would say. put him next to this guy over there. He's smiling. Why are you so mad, dude? Okay, so next one. Let's see. We got mean. We got smiley. We got maybe confused or pouty. Let's try that. And then, you know, like I said, you really want to, you know, mix and match the angles to better your understanding of how to draw faces. You see, I'm just doing the cross, and you know, I could do like the nose line and the mouth line, and that's it. Just to have some basis, you know. At this point, I've drawn so many faces, I could more than likely just wing it, but you know, this helps give you some kind of alignment and perspective on that. So nothing wrong with that. Let's see here. Alright, so this one will be more pouty. So basically with the pouty one, it's just like a fat bottom lip, less of the top lip. You know, kind of a downturned mouth would go along with that. So let me downturn that line a little bit more. Something like that. And like I said, really little to no top lip. Almost like that bottom lip's just kind of taken over. And then you could also downturn the eyes just a little bit. From this angle, they wouldn't be very downturned at all. So, you know, you just kind of hint to that just a little bit. And see, I get the eyes too far over, way too far over this way. So again, that's where digital is nice, because I can just grab my selection tool, move one of these over, maybe this here. Because really at this angle, the nose is going to be very much in front of, in a line behind, you know, over that eye. Excuse me. We'll try that out. And this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just these are rough sketches to show you expression. And then to add to the poutiness, maybe looking back, you know, like her, I picture this as a female character. She's, you know, got the head turned and looking back. Something like that. And then to add to the poutiness, the back turned eyebrows, or eyebrows that are rolled. I don't know how to explain it. They're downward to the outside of the face. I don't know. Goodness. I'm not a speechologist. I'm a drawer. I'm a drawer. An artist. Artiste. At least I like to think so. Some people are probably looking at these sketches and going, Rob, you are not much of an artiste right now. But this is for educational purposes. I'm not trying to brag and show how well I can draw a face right now. I'm just trying to show you the differences in expression, because that is the basis of this storyline. Yeah, that right eye is pretty funky. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to show you one other quick little doodad here I've been doing lately. I really like it. This is Sketchbook Pro. I use a variety of software. If you watch any of my videos, you'll know that. I take this soft eraser, and the settings are where it's very light, and opacity or amount erase is 48%. You just kind of erase it down. It's like using a kneaded eraser on Bristol board. I love the feel of it. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like a traditional method. And now I can come in here a little bit more using that, you know, rough layout, and do a little bit more refined, finished version of that ugly face I just did. I'll just do this once and get back to the expressions. I just really want to show this technique because I noticed a couple artists doing it on here on YouTube, and what are they doing there? That's kind of neat, you know. And I started playing around with it. Now I do it every time. It's you know, it saves you from going back and forth and grabbing the layers. I do the layer thing a lot too, where I tone down the original layer in front of it. But something about this feels a little bit more organic and natural. Like I said, it feels just like I grabbed the excuse me again, kneaded eraser from my toolbox and started erasing some of my sketch lines to you know, refine my work on the Bristol board before I go to the next inking level or stage or whatever. So it's kind of a neat way to do it. Okay, so now this eye, see how really out of whack that is? So I'm just going to take like this imaginary curved line. I guess not even imaginary, I'm just going to draw it in there. And I always make sure that that's level with the mouth. See that? That's what tells me, level with the eyebrow. So all those curved lines should be going in conjunction. I'll start with the eyebrow since that's the straightest line. That'll give me my marker or whatever. Down there. So about there. And then now, I'll try to fix this eye. Now, the other thing is when you're doing a face on an angle, one thing to always remember is that this eye right here, because it's on an angle, it's going to really be tucked in close to that nose, if not covered up. So when you study faces, look for things like that on give this a name in your perspective of it being a 3/4 angle or whatever, however you see that as, and memorize that, and then memorize the position of the eye in conjunction with that. Now, I'm not saying this is dead on because I'm not looking at reference. I could even be a little bit off here, but just for brevity's sake and speed, I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. And mainly to show you that effect for the erasing that. See, and even this pouty lip effect, I think it needs to be tucked up higher. I'll go ahead and just draw it right here over top of my reference lines, but then I'm going to select that and move it up even closer. And if you want to make this character look more sad, then I would say, stretch the pose even more. It's kind of why I want to talk to you about caricaturing, because that's really what you're doing with caricatures. You're stretching the pose. Obviously big eyes and a big head, makes a caricature, but then you want to stretch the expressions. Like this isn't even very stretched for a caricature. This is more comic booky or something, but so you want to get in the habit of really trying to stretch that pose. Let's back up. So now that face is a little bit better. Eyes are a little bit wide, but I could just grab this right through here, stretch that in, rotate it a bit, something like that. Probably still a little bit wide, but okay. So there's kind of pouty. Actually, I think I need to even take those eyes and droop them down more to the side, more like this. So bigger at the middle, put the eyelashes off to the side, and I think that would have added to the poutiness. So I think I made them a little bit too squinted. But that's where you just kind of analyze each one of these, and then you can go back and change and add and take away and all that. Okay, so kind of pouty. Actually, that nose needs more bend too. What else? We got kind of sneering, kind of happy, smile, kind of pouty look. And let's try surprised. We'll do a bit of an upturn head. Surprise, obviously very wide open eyes. Surprise and scared are kind of two that go together. I've found an explanation on why we open our eyes really wide when we're scared. I thought it was kind of cool. It's the body's reaction to take in as much information around you because you're in danger, so your senses are going crazy, and your body reaction your brain reaction tells your body to open its eyes wider and to take in all the dangerous information that's surrounding you. So I always thought that was really cool, cool way to explain why the big wide eyes, that you're just reacting to danger like that. It's just kind of neat. I guess it goes without explaining, but it's kind of neat when you hear it explained like that. And that's why your pupils get really small. I think you take in more light like that or something. I don't know. Maybe you should Google it. If you don't believe me, just Google it. Okay, so now scared face, kind of the mouth's always open. like, I don't know why that is, but, or they're screaming, they're just like, ah! That's my scream, folks. That's how I scream. Alright, and then I guess depending on the intensity of it, again, stretching the pose. It could be just a bottom lip like this, and he's just kind of like, oh my god, whoa. Or it could be like, ah, ah, something like that. Sorry. You gotta have fun when you do this stuff. If you're not, then why are you doing it? Okay, and then you're gonna see some teeth up here. With this pose, I think you'd see a little bit of the back teeth like this, maybe. And maybe that's just more comic booky, but and then the tongue and the lines. That's how I always do my mouse right there, real quick and easy. And then based on how far the head's tilted back, then you're going to see more of the nose, the underneath of the nose, like the nostrils. And then if the head's tilted really far back, you're going to get this little bump on top of the nose. It's going to start, basically the nose is starting to come in front of the bridge of the nose. So you start getting the top bump, and that's really if the head's tilted pretty far back. So I generally don't draw it like that. I notice some artists, they do that every time, and it's kind of annoying. It's not, I don't know, whatever you like. It's tomato, whatever you're into. But I just kind of draw the bottom of the nose like that, and then maybe a line or something, just whatever. And it's usually, that line is usually the depiction of the shadow, so it makes the nose look a little bit more dimensional, not just a flat line underneath. So, alright, and then if it's a guy, I just do kind of a hint of a top lip like that. And then if it's a woman, you just draw the lips fully, and you do bigger, lusher eyelashes and a more sensual face shape, and maybe a smaller nose. So all those things are just adjustments to, like right up here, it's supposed to be a woman, but that's a pretty doodly looking nose. So what I would do is take that down. And another hint, because I had other people ask too about, and I'll get further into this, but they asked about drawing female characters. One of the big things with female characters is just less is more. So for that same nose here, just a few little hints of lines and less of a downturned nose. Like, I've noticed that if you do more of an upturned nose, she looks cuter and more innocent. If you do more of a downturned nose, she looks a hair more like a witch or something. So make sure that when you draw a nose like this, you kind of have it more of an upturn, and just look a little bit more cutesy. And then getting just the right proportions and making it small and dainty, so and I won't get too much into that. This isn't the tutorial on the female features, but I need to hurry up and do that because somebody did ask. So, and I want to say the same person asked for facial expressions too, so at least I'm approaching one of those videos for them. Let's see. And please, if I ever do a video on the topic that you request, please do me the favor and share it, and comment and like and all that good stuff, so I can keep these videos coming your way. So I really enjoy making them, and they're a good time. Have fun with it. And I got to practice drawing anyways, for that's what I do for a living. So I got to do it as much as possible to keep up with all the new oncoming great artists that are stepping into the field. Okay, so let's see, probably get one more in real quick. So we got kind of a sneer, angry, a happy look. I don't know if that's pouty anymore the more I look at it, but looking off to the side with a bit of a pouty lip, kind of a shocked face, and one that I always struggle with, so I guess I'll go ahead and do it just to show that I'm not afraid to fail. I always struggle with the kind of confused and thinking, I don't know what you want to call that, perplexed look, I guess. We'll go for the perplexing look. So what I would picture this one being is where the eyes are kind of rolled back a bit, kind of thinking, kind of a, kind of mouth. I don't know how to do a mouth, but So the eyes kind of, and then the eyebrows kind of like rolled back a bit, I imagine. I think one down, one up, kind of like the rock. Um, and then the eye, obviously the one with the brow being up is going to be more wide opened. So we'll do that. And then the one with the one down, not squinted, but a little bit further closed to go with the change in the face and the brow. Tiny nose there. And I guess the eyes would be back. Something like that. Yeah, and again, that's why I struggle with it. And that's where I would pull reference. I would look at, one thing I did want to mention, if you are trying to get better at this stuff, you can Google facial expressions, obviously. You're going to get a bunch there. They also make books, art books on expressions, and it's just photos and photos of expressions. That's probably going to be a great way for you to get a better feel for all this. Just, because you're going to want to study. The key to getting all this is to study faces all the time, quite constantly, and just start picking up on the little intricacies of what makes different expressions different. The different ways to draw eyes and the different ways to draw even the nose and mainly the eyes and the mouth, say a lot of it. So, you're going to want to pick up on that, and the best way to do that is tons and tons of relentless practice. So, when a lot of people ask me, they're like, Rob, how do you draw this? How do you draw that? It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good to watch these videos and get the explanation and that kind of thing. But the one thing that I'm always going to reiterate, and it's always going to come down to, is tons and tons of practice. You have to beat this stuff into your brain box. That's the work part, But the good thing is, if you truly enjoy to draw, if you're truly passionate about it, you're going to do it regardless. You're just going to keep doing it and keep doing it, and there's always going to be this fire kind of inside you that's saying, I got to get better, I got to get better. So you will eventually get it. It'll just kind of come together. I don't want to say all at once, because there's days when I feel like I draw better, and then there's days when I just want to start smashing everything around me, Hulk smash. But you just persevere through it. That's the point. You enjoy it, and you're like, if you're like me, you're not going to give up. So you'll just keep going until you get there. So yeah. And some days you're just re-erasing a mouth over and over again until you get it right. Yeah, I don't know if that's the emotion I was trying to convey there, but let me know if you think that looks like he's thinking or perplexed. Yeah, and now see, this one's actually looking more to me like he's just scared that somebody's walking up behind him. So I don't know, but that's how I would do it. And then I guess the other thing that I should have touched on more is the brows, like especially if they're older, you can put more of the wrinkles up here. That's going to add to that expression too. So yeah, wrinkles are another big one, another big detail that you can add in there and get to go with the expression. So there it is. There's my my expressions today, and hopefully that's helped you. And if it has, let me know. And if it hasn't, let me know that too. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, and check out Blackstone on Indie Planet. I'll have book 2 out in no time, and you'll be able to get a couple episodes of that. So thanks very much for watching. Keep drawing, keep having fun. Bye-bye.